President Donald Trump has asked Congress for nearly $8 billion as an initial payment to help with the response on recovery efforts following devastating floods in large parts of Texas. Tens of thousands of people remain in temporary shelters, and flood waters are still rising in some areas a week after the storm first hit. Meanwhile, the death toll from a Category 4 hurricane that made landfall in southern Texas in the United States a week ago has now reached 47. As flood waters recede, officials fear that that number will rise.
Homes along the engorged San Jacinto River near Houston, Texas. Tens of thousands have been left homeless by Harvey's extensive flooding, while large parts of the storm-affected region remain cut off due to flooded highways. The homeless have been brought to shelters like this one.
Like that night, it started rising into our apartment up to our ankles. Then it went up to our knees.
It was a hurricane at first, then it turned into a flash flood warning, and it hit so hard in less than, from Monday to Wednesday, till it was flooded all completely around us, and the water was steady rising.
We have things that have been neglected, like our flood wall, our pumps. We have no spirit of proactivity.
Damage could result in the costliest natural disaster in United States history, with a potential price tag of $190 billion, while the city of Houston is likely to be uninhabitable for weeks, if not months, due to water damage.
Can say is that the fact that we do have climate change, our atmosphere is warmer, it contains more moisture. It means that when we do have a hurricane, a tropical cyclone like this, then when an event does occur, then climate change does very likely increase the associated rainfall. But climate change per se does not cause tropical cyclones.
Weakening. Hurricane Irma has now formed and could reach the mainland United States next week. Fall from Harvey was in Cedar Bayou, Texas, which received 52 inches or 132 centimeters of rainfall in the space of just a few days, more than double the average annual rainfall of all of Johannesburg. The White House is working on a funding request to Congress of about $6 billion for initial response and recovery efforts. The House could vote as early as next week, just as a second potentially dangerous weather system heads this way across the Atlantic Ocean. Sherman Bryceby's SABC News, New York.